We're going to start with major music. This is probably what you're most familiar with as far as discussing music, but we hear major music all the time, but we also hear minor music all the time. This is usually just the most familiar sound to our ears. So I'm going to let this music talk for itself. Here's the C major scale on this first line here. A brief little C major gesture, which just means small musical idea, and you're going to hear the major chord in C major. Okay, sorry for that little clip somewhere around here. I don't know what happened. I do want to point out, this is a scale that we've heard thousands of times. Do want to point out here, both in the treble and the bass clef staffs, I put in parentheses a natural sign. Some of us are not totally sure what this thing here is, but it's called a natural sign with the E, both in treble, and this is also an E in the bass clef staff, and E natural again here, and in the bass clef. In C major, we have E naturals. This is going to become more apparent and more important once we start talking about C minor. But anyway, we have the scale from C up to C and back down to C. And with this, I also gave those scale numbers that we used yesterday. Remember, we go 1 through 7, and we have a repetition of 1 up top. You can call it 8, but usually I prefer to call it a 1. And then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, back to 1. Here, this short little C major gesture, this is not an arpeggio, like what I've forced you to play after all your scales. This is just starting on C, going up to that major third, reminder E natural here, that's going to be important, and coming back down, and instead of just playing a C at the end, we have the full C major chord. Both the gesture and the major chord are the same exact thing in the treble clef and in the bass clef staff.